here with Chris Palliser. Hey, I'm so excited to have you because we've been neighbors here at the Atlantic Solar Summit, and you're live streaming. You have a podcast as well.
Yeah, the Solar PVCast. And first time we thought we'd try a live stream, and it's working out really well. And so I love that we're kind of tag teaming this event today. You're recording and getting the quality content, and I'm just seeing what happens with live streaming.
So you're with Shift Energy. So you really focus on your podcast on the solar industry only.
Yeah, so solar specific, and Shift is solar and energy storage installer across Canada. So my main gig is on the marketing team for that. Excellent. So community engagement, education, solar education, content creation, socials, all of that. And then part of that coming from radio and television, which I know you were in as well. I said to Colin, our founder president, I said, what do you think about a podcast just on solar? And I think we're approaching it the same way because anything I heard was very techie.
Right.
And I thought, I'm not techie.
Right.
I need somebody to break it down for me.
Yep.
And I know we talked about that. And so that's kind of how the Solar PV cast came to be.
Well, it's interesting. So you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm on the East Coast, but we're not really limited to our regions and areas. But comparing the East to the West, I mean, how's it been like on the solar side?
Yeah, I mean, British Columbia is kind of where I'm based. And because it's hydro, and hydro is pretty inexpensive, I think the adoption of residential solar and commercial solar has been a little slower than out east. So I come out here and I'm just like solar, 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 solar everywhere. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So I would say the east is probably ahead of where we are just because, again, of that hydro.
Awesome.
And
interesting.
But we're catching up fast, and there's some incredible incentives in British Columbia right now that are motivating. Yeah. And so, it's pretty exciting. And how about out east?
Well, east, it's there's a lot of excitement, and you can see some of it here, at the Solar Summit. There's a lot of great energy, a lot of innovation that's happening here on the East Coast. We have Dalhousie University. We have.
Did you get the race team?
No, they're not. I didn't get them. And last year when they came, they brought their solar car, and that's not here this year. But they're doing fantastic things, and the community college is happening here. But what we're hearing a lot is, the training, the lack of, the industry is ahead of where the education needs to be. Yes. Are you finding that in BC?
100%, yeah. And I think, my role within Shift is that. Is education, because there is such an opportunity to, my mantra is to be the place where people learn things, because when they learn from you, they promote you.
Right. That's good.
So I'm just out there trying to educate. And I know a huge goal for Shift, the sales team, our consultants, everyone is just all about education, because honestly, as you know, when you just tell the facts about solar, it's an easy yes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no selling. You're just talking about it and being a pretty passionate, energetic guy. It gets people excited.
It really does. And you really have to be careful, because there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of myths that are out there. So you really have to mitigate that.
I would assume you have these same conversations. I love the wow I get when, I say, you don't need a battery to go solar. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Or the other one is net metering. There's a large percentage of the population that doesn't know.
Oh, the eyes glaze over. Yeah.
And it's like, well, solar doesn't work because it's, especially in the West Coast, it's cloudy,
Rains
it's raining.
A lot. Yeah.
And so the first thing people say is, the general population say it doesn't work here because it's cloudy in the winter. Well, did you know that you can actually store the stuff you produce in the spring and summer, build credits up, and use those in the winter?
Right.
What?
Yeah, right?
So I love that.
Yeah. And even on the cloudy days, you can still generate some solar, it's not zero.
Yeah.
But there's a real educational process as well. So with your podcast, which has been your favorite one? Which stands out to you the most?
Good question. Yeah, I've had a lot of great conversations. The David Suzuki Foundation, I had a representative on from that. My first one ever on the history of solar was kind of fun. But I think right now, maybe because it's somewhat recent, I chatted with Johan Hernström from Sweden.
Oh, wow.
About large-scale solar farms in Sweden and how they use these power purchase agreements. One of their clients is H&M.
Oh, wow.
H&M has purchase power agreements with this company Alight in Sweden, and so who knew if you're shopping at H&M, they use solar.
They really, when they say sustainability, they really mean that they are. They walk the talk. That's good.
And I love what we can do in this platform is go international.
Yeah.
We can be listened to anywhere in the world. Actually, on your podcast stats, where's the farthest place or the weirdest place that you get listeners? Have you looked that up?
Yeah, I have. Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if the White House is watching me or what.
100%.
I don't know. Or CIA, what's going on? But that kind of blows me away. I mean, I also get Europe as well.
Yeah.
But somehow, there was one month that I had a lot of listeners from there. It kind of scared me a little bit, to tell you the truth. How about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to, honestly, all over the world, Europe as well. I think Congo once.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's so random.
Yeah.
Where they, but we're on all the major streaming platforms.
Well,
so.
yeah. Well, it's interesting because, our podcast, and probably yours as well, we're on like Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're also on TikTok. And I find TikTok is a lot more international people that are a lot from India, a lot from Spain that are on there. And then whenever we mention EVs on Instagram, we always get a lot of pickup there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I got to do an episode on, because I do try to keep it solar specific.
Right.
I know that the Reimagine Energy podcast kind of covers everything.
Yeah.
Which is great. But yeah, I just kind of thought, you know what? There's other ones that do that. So I'm going to make myself a little different and just stick to solar. And so it's definitely EVs, important. that vehicle home backup, that's coming with EVs. That'd be a good episode.
It would be great. And then somebody out there has got to be doing something with, car roofs or something like that, with solar panels
Aptera.
On top. Really?
Look up Aptera. I've sent them some messages to try to get them on, but they're developing a solar car. Which is, it's super, it looks like kind of a raindrop because it needs to be incredibly aerodynamic. Can't use a lot of energy. Yeah. It's got to have the solar on the top. Anyways, that's another podcast.
That's right. And if you can nail them, shove them over my way too.
I will.
Love to talk to them. Yeah. Well,
I was just going to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's wonderful to see another podcast here, and it just proves that there's a space for podcasts on renewable energy and solar. And
I know.
It's been wonderful to be your podcast partner today.
Well, thank you. And same as well. And it's nice to see that there's so much collaboration. I think that's the whole industry in a nutshell, is people working together side by side, not against each other. It's a lot of fun. But safe travels back to Victoria, BC.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see you again next year.
I like it. Thank you.
Okay, bye, Chris.
Thanks.